Today, on a special edition of Nerded Through the Grapevine, you'll find our friends that gather weekly have stumbled into a grape tragedy. Once upon a time, the four hosts of the wildly popular podcast Nerded Through the Grapevine,
This is fiction.
Dane, Shazam, Tiny, and Marcus, embarked on an adventure they would never forget. They decided to take a break from their usual nerd-centric discussions and set out on a thrilling expedition to a mysterious tropical island. Equipped with their microphones, an abundance of enthusiasm, and questionable survival skills, the four hosts boarded a rickety old plane headed for the remote island. Unfortunately, their journey was anything but smooth. As luck would have it, Marcus, the self-proclaimed adventure enthusiast of the group, had a penchant for turbulence-induced panic attacks.
That part's probably true.
I think it makes sense.
As the plane hit a rough patch of air, Marcus's anxiety skyrocketed. He began wildly flailing his arms, accidentally knocking the emergency exit lever. The door swung open, and in a comedic twist of fate, Marcus was sucked out of the plane, flailing and screaming all the way down. Dane, Shazam, and Tiny, still in a state of shock, watched helplessly as Marcus disappeared into the clouds. After a few moments of stunned silence, they glanced at each other and burst into laughter. Well, I guess that's one way to make an exit, quipped Shazam, trying to lighten the mood. Eventually, the plane landed safely on a sandy beach on a deserted island.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.
Now stranded, the three remaining hosts find themselves in a tropical paradise, but without any means of escape. Rather than dwelling on their misfortune, they decided to turn their predicament into an opportunity for a hilarious podcast content. Using the remnants of their podcasting equipment, they set up a makeshift studio in a cozy cave on the island. They transformed their Castaway experience into a weekly podcast series aptly named The Castaway Chronicles.
Oh, that's actually really good.
With their signature humor and nerd knowledge, they shared hilarious anecdotes, survival tips, and geeky discussions, all the while trying to find a way back home.
So it just killed Marcus.
He's dead, and we just gently landed on a deserted island.
Well, it was. I was just gonna, that in case anybody was wondering, that was ChatGPT that wrote that story for an intro for our episode. And Marcus wasn't able to be here today, and it was going to originally be the four of us, so I prompted it to give Marcus a good death.
So if you ever don't show up, we're going to kill you. Hey, everybody, I'm Dane Holland.
I'm Austin Shazam Pfeiffer.
And I'm Austin Tiny Zent.
And we are Nerded Through the Grapevine, the podcast where four best friends gather weekly to talk about our favorite parts of past, present, and future nerd culture. And this is the Castaway Chronicles. Surely we can TM that, right? I mean,
It's got to be.
It's got to. It has to exist already. It's too good.
That was, I mean, as I was reading it after the prompt, this was my first out loud read through, but I'm reading it after the prompt, and I'm like, okay, I wanted Marcus to have a good death, and it gave me such a good death because the last time Marcus went flying on an aeroplane,
He's very nervous.
he thought that he was going to die just from his heart.
Yeah.
He didn't even have to have. So the fact that in this fictitious story that ChatGPT cooked up, Marcus had an anxiety attack, flailed his arms, and knocked himself out of the plane. Oh my gosh.
It's too good.
And now he's got a new fear of flying.
Well, he is prone to flailing during, bouts of anxiety, so it does track with real life experiences.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because if he couldn't pace like he does whenever he gets his anxiety, then he would have to flail his arms. And that plane's small and rickety. He can't pace inside that thing.
Now, is flailing your arms like pacing but arm based?
Yes.
It's like if only your arms are pacing
Yeah.
rapidly.
Right.
Yes. And you can channel that into boxing if you want to, though.
Well, it's like a jumping jack without the jumping part. It's just the jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the jack part of jumping jack.
Yeah, it's like I'm drowning. It's the drowning motion.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's awful.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's probably how he died.
Well, I like to think that a very large, like comedically large falcon swooped underneath him and he landed on it, and now he's flying off to join his new family of giant falcons that will raise him and make him one of their own.
It wasn't a falcon at all. It was actually an eagle.
Oh, it was an eagle?
Yeah, it was Tolkienian.
Oh, yeah, those were eagles, weren't they? Mm-hmm. Man, that'd have been too easy.
Yeah.
Do you guys know what Robinsonade is?
It sounds like a weird sports beverage.
I mean, I have an idea, but I don't know if it's appropriate for our audiences.
A Robinsonade is a plot about characters being stranded in the wilderness far away from civilization and forced to live off the land in order to survive. So that's what we're doing today. But I wanted us to come up with our things. You know, the classic thing of, okay, if you're stuck on an island, what's the last blah, 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 blah you're going to bring? Well, we're doing that today.
Yeah.
With like because nerd stuff is going to fit into all those categories. And I actually went to our Discord server in the Backyard Bonanza and picked out some backyardians from there. And they gave me some of their list as well. So I thought it'd be a fun way for us to shout out some of our members of Discord and fans of the show. You guys, so I picked 5 different categories for this. I don't know if you guys want to add one at any point for just us to do, that's fine. But for the 5 categories, I've got book, movie, album, snack, and video game. And I think I was going to do it to where we just go through our 5 and then move on. But I think it would be good to do like book, but like the book everyone chose, and then talk about this and then move on through the list that way.
Yeah.
So we get to the very end. Is that cool?
Sounds good.
That works for me.
Can we also add vegetable?
Ooh, for
That
us.
way we can be healthy.
That's
you know?
yeah, that's fine.
You know.
To counteract the snack.
Yeah, because
What if your
snacks
snack
well, if your
is a
snack is healthy,
vegetable?
you don't have to
Yeah.
pick a vegetable.
Right. Yeah. Well, I would think there's maybe vegetables on our island. Maybe.
My
Okay.
snack's not healthy.
Maybe.
Well, I mean, well, this pick could guarantee that it's on said island.
That's true. I'm perfectly
because
fine with that.
I've never seen a tropical broccoli
We'll have a big closeout with picking our vegetable we would bring to kind of wrap it all up and bring it all
or
together.
condiment. Either or.
Either
I'm
or.
cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just
We
whatever.
got an hour to decide
I
how
can
we
come
want
up
to
with
finish
so
it.
many
Yeah.
ideas while I sit here. You know.
So, book. I want to start off with a book that what I would bring on the island with me. This is just us stuffing these things in our backpack as we hop on this plane, and Marcus flies out of it, and you joke about it, and then we never see him again. American Gods by Neil Gaiman. I had to pick a Neil Gaiman book. He's my favorite author. I didn't have to, because this doesn't necessarily have to be your favorite thing. It just be just something that you could see yourself enjoying for an indefinite amount of time. But the way Neil Gaiman writes and the subject matter and just the way you can read it a few times and still find something different every time you read it, I think would keep me going for a long time. And also, I would hope that I would be able to make some kind of pencil and write on some stone or something while I'm there. So I want to be motivated by my favorite writer and read through one of my favorite books by him. But American Gods, it's a thick boy. It's probably I think it's his largest novel that he's written. And it would entertain me for a while, and I would get to read through it a whole bunch of times. American Gods is about the main character, Shadow, and something terrible happens to his wife, and there's a lot of supernatural stuff that goes on that kind of keeps her memory around with him. And he runs into, along his journey of just trying to figure himself out and what to do through life now, he runs into a lot of gods like that are walking among us. And in this world, for the gods to be alive and to continue being deities, people have to worship them. So they have to consume worship in order to grow and flourish and actually still be gods. So he tags along with a character named Wednesday, and he kind of hires him to do a bunch of like crazy jobs with him, and the characters in this book, Tiny, you can attest to it.
Oh,
like every single character in it is so unique and special, and just the voice that he gives them. You can not even see who's speaking and see the way that they talk, and exactly which character in a group of 4 or 5 even, you would be able to tell which one is which speaking. That's how unique all these characters are.
Yep, my favorite would be Chernobog.
Oh, Chernobog is the man.
He had
man.
the one of the best lines in the book, and also the ending was sad in a way, but also happy. It was very strange.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a wild book, and it gets real weird, but it's also oddly peaceful and hectic. He's really good at being able to juxtapose like this kind of serenity with a chaos, but also told in a very poetic nature. The cadence of Gaiman's writing is very poetic to me, just as you read it.
And being the man that's only seen the show, what's that guy's name again that you got? Chernobog. Is he the one with the giant hammer and
he's the one with the hammer.
And has the Russian accent, and he's good in all the movies that I see him in too. So
he's always a Russian.
Yeah, always. Maybe he's Russian.
I mean, he might be. I've never actually looked it up.
Hell, he was.
But if not, he's very convincing.
He was in the origin story of the Kingsman movies called The King's Man, playing Rasputin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what American Gods is about, and I love it, and I want to reread it again because I've only read it once.
I've only read it 4 times.
It's a big boy though. It's one you gotta really dedicate some time to. But really, you could just pick any Neil Gaiman book, and I would be happy with it. It's just this one would be the one I would choose.
Well, I feel like that's a solid choice because it's really good. I've read it myself. Arguably, it's my favorite of the ones of his that I have read.
Yep.
So solid choice.
TV show, don't watch the TV show.
I didn't
because
even try that.
They didn't he wasn't directly involved with the creation of the TV show, and it's obvious where that starts to kind of distance itself, and it ended up getting canceled, and the other things that he's been involved with of his writing that's become TV shows, they've been successful. So there's the difference there, but I had to go with Gaiman, man. I had to take him with me on my journey.
I chose a book that is a picture book.
Because is it a pop-up?
The Hungry Caterpillar.
It is not a pop-up book, but is one of the greatest illustrated works that I've read.
Everybody poops.
No.
Is that a visual novel? Oh no.
It is.
It is Kingdom Come from DC Comics.
Yeah.
Kingdom Come was a 4-volume miniseries that came out, and they released it all in a condensed one giant book. So, and it had chapter by chapter in there. Basically, it is set in a future basis to where Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman are having to face the realities of a world that's overpopulated with metahumans, as the existence of people with powers has now altered the course of the way the human genetics are going to be and everything. I mean, the art in the book is done by a portrait artist that does comic book work. His name is Alex Ross. And looking through the comic book and just seeing every single page with an oil painting for its art content, you're in there. You're seeing the people. You're not seeing just characters that are cartoons. It looks like you're looking at people.
Yeah, he's arguably the most realistic comic artist that there is.
And I absolutely love it. And that's what introduced me to Shazam. It was more of a martyr story for Shazam. Basically, it was one of these things. It was such a giant war happening between different factions of the metahumans and the superheroes and that they were all trying to just either, nullify each other's powers or knock each other out or kill each other, depending on what they're trying to do. And the U.S. government decides to join with the UN, and they all decided that they needed to end this conflict before it destroyed the world. So what they decided to do, let's drop some nukes on it. And the nukes were actually super-powered nukes that were designed to actually just, kill the metahumans and to be strong enough to wipe them out while they're all so densely concentrated in this war that's happening in a wiped-out area of Kansas. And the way that they survive is Captain Marvel, as he was named then, but Shazam, as we all know him. He ends up saving the day by, destroying the nuke that was going to hit the main bulk of the people. The rest of them were taking, kind of like Green Lantern shields protects and da-da-da-da. But, man, just seeing him make the sacrifice, because Superman told him point blank, he said, I can't make this choice, Billy. I can't make the choice on whether to save the gods or to save the humans, because I can only truly walk on one side. You're the only one that lives in both worlds. And that still gives me chills.
Mm-hmm.
Because in all honesty, when he's not in his, Captain Marvel Shazam form, he's just a person. He's not got any remnant of power whatsoever happening in him. And as soon as he says the word, he is an unstoppable force. So it's completely true. And he makes the ultimate sacrifice by calling down the lightning as soon as he grabs a hold of the nuke to destroy it in the air. So, and with the, I think one of the lines in it, and seven thunders uttered their voice, is one of the things, because it's also it's a weird meta area in this graphic novel too, because you've got the a character called the Spectre that's basically the vengeance of God, and he's walking this Catholic priest around, like basically transporting him place to place via this otherworldly power that he has to just be omnipotent and everywhere at the same time. And he's showing him how it's almost like the book of Revelation unfolding in the world of DC.
Mm-hmm. It's really neat. It's cool that he gets to see the heroes older too, and just see how their views have changed throughout time with them and the things they struggle with now that supers are everywhere.
And my favorite thing about Alex Ross's Captain Marvel depictions is his Captain Marvel depiction looks exactly like me without a beard.
Looks very similar to you.
It's
weird.
It's great. It's meant to be.
So one wouldn't expect me to pick a Stephen King novel, correct?
Would one?
One would, but I did not pick a Stephen King novel because he is my favorite author, and I didn't want to cheat, especially since I held one of our listeners that participated in the Backyard Bonanza to the strict rule of picking one.
Mm-hmm.
I could not in good conscience say the Dark Tower series. So therefore, I picked the Joe Hill novel, The Fireman.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did cause COVID by reading it.
True.
That's the only downside,
Mm-hmm.
but the book is fantastic. You can definitely see hints of his father in it, and it has very compelling characters and a story that just grabs you and doesn't want to let you go. And I feel like I could read it multiple times and not be upset that it's just the same book.
You know how stupid I am?
Yes.
Whenever you said,
we do.
well, besides the obvious, I'm so stupid that whenever you said, well, I'm not going to pick a Stephen King, I said, well, you're going to go with his son. Like, that's what my brain said, but my brain forgot his name. And you know what my brain called him instead of his real name? It was Jonah Hill. And I was like, now hold on a minute. That ain't quite the right name there, is it?
Well, actually, Hill is part of his middle name. I'm just throwing that out there.
He didn't want to use King because then
Right,
it
he
would
didn't
just
want-
sell because of
yeah,
his dad, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He didn't want to use that clout.
Yeah.
So he used, I think it's like Hillstrom is his middle name. So he just went Hill.
Which people are going to eventually find out,
Right.
but it's a good sentiment to be like, because not everyone knows that he's Stephen
Right.
King's son. So whenever they go to see a book, by him and eventually
Yeah.
just kind of read it randomly, they have no clue.
Yeah,
and that's really neat.
Exactly. And now he's gotten to the point where he's built his own following. I didn't know for a long time that was him, so I just walked by him,
He's he's changed a lot since he was in Superbad. I mean, he's lost a lot of weight here recently.
Shut up. Wrong person, okay?
Sorry.
Still a talented individual as well. But-
What's a short kind of synopsis of what that book is about without any spoilies?
Okay, a short synopsis with no spoilers would be a worldwide pandemic breaks out. It's called Dragon Scale. You develop scale-like things on your body, and over time, you just explode into fire, spontaneous combustion style. And there's no cure for it. Apocalypse is raining down. And this lady who's a nurse becomes pregnant, and she becomes pregnant at the beginning of all of this. And she made a pact with her husband that if they contracted Dragon Scale, that they would hit the exit button together. Well, she becomes pregnant and wants to go through the pregnancy first to give her child a chance at life. if it's not congenital. So the husband decides that's not what we agreed on and goes crazy. Fight ensues. She runs away, and she ends up finding a community of people that have learned to live with the dragon scale. They've learned how to not explode by it. And one individual in particular who dresses like a fireman has learned how to actually control it like pyrokinesis style.
Cool.
Can like shoot fire and turn into, he calls it like going phoenix, basically big firebird.
That
Really
sounds
cool.
so
That's cool.
awesome. Why has this not been made a movie yet?
It totally should be.
I have the book if you ever want to read it.
I would like to read that.
I have it.
Hell, I can't read.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about
You
that.
can use it to teach you.
Totally forgot.
That's see, because what I'm so stupid. Because you said the fireman, and I can't get George Strait's song "The Fireman" out of my head.
Not familiar.
Oh God, good. I'm the fireman. That's my name. Driving around this town, putting out old flames.
Well, he is like a firefighter, but the opposite.
So he's literally a fireman.
Yes. Yes.
So it's not like fireman. It's Spider-Man, kind of.
But he
fireman.
But he drives a fire truck and wears like a firefighter's outfit.
That's so badass. It reminds me of an anime called Fire Force.
Yes. Yeah, that reminds me of that, too. I think that's what popped in my head.
Yes. Okay, I'll read that, Tiny.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Do you guys want to move on to some of our backyard bonanzians?
Yeah, let's see what they said.
Yeah.
Backyardians. So the first one from DT from Space Castle, the podcast. Very good friend of the show and also an amazing podcast, a really good nerd podcast. If anybody out there has not listened to Space Castle yet, fantastic. I just went through their back catalog. Like they've got such a good quality to the show and they're just really smart.
And
I really like it a
and
lot.
he had a little string of them to where he had like 15-minute episodes that were all based on just like specific subjects that he was covering. And I listened to probably 5 or 6 just back to back to back to back on the way home from a wedding one night. It was very good, especially the one about the astronaut doctor that he interviewed, and he had to
with NASA.
He had
that one was
he
great.
had to get a release from the U.S. government to be able to
Yes.
use the footage that he used for his podcast.
Yeah.
It was, hey, props.
Yeah.
Brudda.
When you need government clearance to do an interview for your podcast, you're doing pretty good.
That's my goal with Jesse Ventura up at the Fanboy Expo.
It's going to happen. I just know it.
I got a pack of feral dogs.
But yeah, DT feels just like one of the guys. Like it feels like he could sit in with us, no problem.
He should drive
Like,
down
so-
one day.
Yeah, from space.
I don't know. He just has to float down from the clouds.
He's at the
DT,
castle.
here is me formally extending an invitation to fill in for Marcus or whoever or shit. We'll pull in a 5th chair.
Who cares? Yeah, exactly.
Pull in a 5th chair. Bring
I've
a
got
microphone.
more microphones in the house.
Oh, okay. Well, bring
He's
your
got
own
his
headphones.
He's got his own
Yeah,
microphone.
bring your own mic
Fine.
and headphones, bro. We'll set you a seat.
So, unfortunately, Marcus isn't here with us, but DT didn't cheat and just say the Lord of the Rings trilogy. He picked the Fellowship of the Ring.
The musical?
Specifically, yes, according to Tiny. DT, if you didn't know this, the Fellowship of the Ring is a musical in book form.
Why would you pick a musical? I'm sorry. I shouldn't judge your opinion because it's your opinion and you're a beautiful person and you're entitled to it. But you picked a fucking musical.
There's like 3 songs.
They're
They're just
many.
early on,
There's
right?
so many.
But
There's 3 back to back in the beginning.
I can respect his choice of the first one in the trilogy because I'm a sucker for a setup. I love the beginnings of stories, no matter how epic and crazy they become. Just like in Star Wars, I like A New Hope more than I do the following 2. And that's not very common, I feel like, with big Star Wars fans. Like they tend to like, Return of the Jedi a whole lot more. And but I just like the beginnings of characters and get to see all that. So with the Fellowship of the Ring, you get to meet the whole gang for the first time, except for those that, maybe in The Hobbit. But The Hobbit's so boring, man.
The Hobbit don't count.
Hobbit don't count. It's so boring.
I'd rather read the Salamander or whatever.
That too, kind of boring.
I mean,
but
it's an encyclopedia.
Yeah, the Salmonellian.
Yeah.
that's the one.
Yeah.
So excellent choice by DT picking Lord of the Rings and especially the Fellowship of the Ring. Our friend K-Del, a.k.a. Ollie, chose
Otto?
Otto. My phone auto-corrected Otto to Ollie.
They're both skateboard
Sorry,
moves,
man.
technically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Punch your phone.
If you know how to pull an auto on a skateboard, you're doing pretty good.
That's when you do the ollie and it goes into your crotch region when you land. So auto, thanks to the phone's, thanks to the autocorrect, Auto, we've now named the skateboard move after you.
Because that's the auto reset button. As soon as that happens, your memory is completely wiped. You become a new person that starts with pain. All you know is pain and suffering in life.
You see a bright light, you hear Madonna, I just got home and I feel, and you're back to earth, just in excruciating pain.
Yeah.
I just got home.
It's the only way to physically be born again is to pull an auto on a skateboard. Otto chose Princess Bride as the book. I've never read Princess Bride. I've only watched Princess Bride.
They read Princess Bride and Princess Bride.
I didn't even know it was a book.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
But I didn't eat. Wait a second. So
You didn't know how meta the movie
it's
was?
meta.
Yeah.
Because it was already.
I've only watched 10 minutes of the movie.
No, you've not
okay?
seen the whole?
I didn't enjoy the 10 minutes that I watched.
No, Tiny.
It's okay.
I mean,
It's fine.
it
It's a
took-
specific type of humor.
I do need to go back and watch it because a lot of people love it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
You don't
I
have
to
to
get
love
in
it.
the proper like there's a lot of like British style humor.
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of got to be in the right frame of mind to enjoy that.
It took me 4 different attempts and 2 different hallucinogens to appropriately enjoy the Holy Grail. So I get that.
I was fixing to say it took me years to finally enjoy Monty Python. And this isn't Monty Python, but
Right.
But just kind of
Similar
saying the
style.
similar style of it's a certain brand of humor, and if you aren't into it, it's fine. It's its own thing. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I remember Princess Bride really liking it right off the bat. But it's a little bit easier to get into, I think, than Monty Python. Monty Python is like thick British humor
And witty. Like, if you're not smart, you're just going to be like, this is the dumbest thing ever. And I'm not that smart sometimes.
But the older we've gotten, the more we've been able to kind of digest it. Because as a kid, when I watched it, I was just like, man, this is boring.
The argument over the bird carrying the coconut.
Well, I mean, look, I made it through all the Hitchhiker's Guide books, okay? And those are like
They're
about as
great.
British as they get.
Yeah, true.
So I can enjoy British things.
Right.
I just have to be in the right space.
Yeah, you'll have to be in the right mindset for it. But I wonder how close the movie is to the book, considering I've never read it before. But you said they read the book in the movie, so maybe it's scene for scene.
Yeah.
As close as it can be.
Yeah. And if
Otto,
you-
let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otto, how close is it?
Put it in our Discord.
Yeah.
we know you listen.
Live, uncut, uncensored, and irrevocably sarcastic.
There we go. Done.
Oh, wait. Am I supposed to?
Oh,
Oh, no, not yet.
no, not yet. We're not done
Not yet. What was I going to say? Nothing?
Is it time to move on?
Moving on. That's what I was
Yeah.
going to do.
See, whenever you do the regular,
It's like Marcus said. Once you hit that, what do you do after that?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's
but
just a solid
I'm-
ender.
Yeah, I'm loath to change it at this point.
We can't change it. It's tattooed onto the podcast.
I know.
Our good friend, John, a.k.a. Fresh Snoop, chose Angels and Demons, the book. So not the other one.
It is a Dan Brown book.
Yes, Dan Brown.
It is before the Da Vinci Code.
Okay.
It's actually pretty fantastic. It's better than the Da Vinci Code, in my opinion.
Okay.
The movie just sucks monkey nuts.
Didn't the movie
don't
make it like a
even.
sequel instead of a prequel?
I don't even remember. It was so bad.
Because Robert Langdon was in the same similar kind
Yeah.
of thing. Oh, wasn't there a
Well,
third one too called Inferno
No,
or something like that?
Inferno's the fourth one. It's Angels and Demons, Da Vinci Code, The Lost Symbol, and Inferno.
Okay, they never made a movie of the Lost Symbol. They just made a movie of
Right.
Inferno. Okay.
Really? They just
Yeah,
skipped
they-
that one altogether?
Well, they started with the Da Vinci Code as the movie, also a
Right.
video game. Pretty good.
Wait,
older.
based on the movie?
Yes.
Good. Hold on. What?
They used different. Okay, for people that are unaware, it's based around a lot of art history and symbology.
Yeah.
And there's usually some kind of crazy thing going on. So using the art history, they figure out what the hell it is. And in the Da Vinci Code, they're trying to find the lineage of Christ because of the theory that Jesus had a baby with Mary Magdalene. Blah 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 blah. I don't remember the exact issue in Angels and Demons because I was 13 when I read it, but very good. And the video game for the Da Vinci Code used similar style puzzles, but not the same things for the same mystery.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Did you get to be Nicolas Cage?
No.
It was Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks, buddy. You got to be Tom Hanks.
I'm thinking of National Treasure.
Yeah.
Same thing.
I
In
mean,
my head, Da Vinci
honestly-
Code and National Treasure, same thing.
Honestly, they're not very dissimilar.
Yeah,
National Treasure is just more of like for a younger audience digestible
Yeah.
thing as opposed to like a Dan
yeah,
Brown.
National Treasure
because
definitely watered down.
the secret of the Knights Templar was actually carrying on the secret of the lineage of Christ.
Yes. And
Gotcha.
the Rosicrucians.
Yes.
And all the various branches of masonry and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Dan Brown, besides those things, I don't know of any. I know I've seen his name on many, many books, right? Haven't I? Or is that
Probably.
really the only one?
I mean, if you've got your name on 4 books, that's many, many to me.
That
yeah.
is many, many. Yeah.
Those are the Robert Langdon series, essentially, but he
character?
does have other books. Yeah, Robert Langdon is the
Okay.
main character
I
of
gotcha.
those books.
So Angels and Demons was written before the Da Vinci Code?
Yes.
Okay. Interesting that they chose Da Vinci Code to start off with movies.
I think it was just the whole hype of, chasing the lineage of Christ.
I see. Okay.
I think that's probably why they chose that one.
Yeah, strongest money grab based on subject material.
Right.
Got it.
And they don't have to be read in any particular order. I
No?
think Angels and Demons, there was an assassination plot against the Pope, if I remember correctly. But I could be thinking Devil's Labyrinth. But anyway,
Well,
I don't even remember what I was saying now. Oh, they don't have to be read in any particular order. You can just pick them up and read them.
that's interesting.
So,
Huh.
because they're separate crimes trying to be solved. So
Okay,
there
so-
might be some through storyline, but it's not enough to really
Super
make a
vague
difference.
to do
Right.
that. Okay. I got it. Well, now I'm kind of interested in actually reading that as opposed to watching it because I don't think I've really wanted to watch. I saw the Da Vinci Code, but it was kind of it's fine. I
Yeah.
like National Treasure, right? That was what it's called.
Yeah, with
I like that a
Nicolas
lot
Cage.
more.
Yep.
Nick Cage. Now, moving on from Fresh Snoop, we have Carly, my girlfriend.
Ooh.
She gave me a list, and she chose for her book 1984 by Orwell.
Not read that one,
No?
but I've heard that if you like sci-fi, it is like the big iconic one, and it's supposed to be heavily relevant with things that are happening in today's world.
It's not sci-fi as much as dystopia.
Sorry, that's what I meant. Dystopia,
It's
not
a-
sci-fi.
It's a dystopic story of basically government being able to tell you like war is peace, like and all the opposites. Like they have these different. It's been forever since I've read it, but they have these different sectors that to where one thing is symbolizing the opposite, just trying to get you to believe the opposite of reality, and they can actually change reality by they have the main character in it works even in a specific department that destroys records of facts so that way they can be changed into whatever they want them to be. But the book, it's gotten a whole lot more popular kind of as time has gone throughout things that go on in government, and a lot of times books written way in the past, things come to reality later on because life imitates art. And this is one of those things that the author in their head, they were like, well, if this one small thing that's going on right now in the real world were to continue, here's where I think it would end up. And it's crazy reading it and then being able to compare reality to it. And it kind of makes it like, sometimes when you read a dystopic novel, it's an escape, to this crazy place to where everything's gone wild and bad. And it's just fun to kind of escape your reality of just, wake up to the sunshine, have a day, go to bed.
So Orwell, is it George Orwell? Is that the author's name? George Orwell? Or not George, but Orwell was the guy who wrote also War of the Worlds, I believe, right?
What was that? Orson Welles.
Orson Welles.
Yeah, you're thinking
That's-
Orson Welles.
Yeah, I'm a big...
George
I
Orwell.
agreed with
Orson
you.
Welles.
God,
You
let's
both
high five
did,
for being
man.
idiots.
Yeah,
No,
we
it's
did a
fine.
dumb
I was thinking, I was
together
like,
as a team.
they didn't do that too, but very close name though. So you're close there. But
No, it's not at all.
so close. You were so close.
Wait. So
Look, just take the W. He's trying to
Orson-
give, trying to give us a W.
Orson Welles.
George Orwell.
Orwell.
It's a mouthful of peanut butter either way you look at it.
Orwell.
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 They kind of
George
rhyme.
Orwell.
Yeah.
George Orwell. So, yes, if you have not read 1984 and you are interested in dystopic stories, go read it. But also beware of having a little bit of an existential crisis whenever you do read it. So it's an interesting choice. Whenever I told her I was wanting to do this, and I was like, stuck on an island, grab your the last thing that you can have in each of these categories that you would enjoy while you're stuck on this island for an indefinite amount of time. And her first thing in her head was 1984. It's one of her favorite books. She was like, wait, if I'm stuck in a place that I don't want to be, I can't escape, everything is bad, I don't know if I want to read a dystopic novel about shit going down terribly for humanity.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, but hey, forget about the island part. Like,
It kind of, I feel like in that situation in an island, you would have some depression because you're like, I might not ever see anyone ever again.
Right.
So you read a book that is depressing.
Yes.
So now you have
Company.
mega depression.
well, no, it's company. It's like the misery that you're having.
Oh, because
It's
misery
company and
loves
misery.
company.
It does. See, so that's what this
so then
book
you
would
would
be.
have a friend.
There's a
And then Kathy Bates cuts off a foot. That happens in the book, not the movie.
Not the movie.
We've got movies too in our bags, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Want to start back at the top?
Let's get some movies going.
All right, we're going to the movies now. My movie, because I'm in a place where I may not laugh very much, but now that I know that I'm stuck with you guys on this island, we'll be laughing plenty. But I wanted to be able to laugh if I were to sit by myself at the one TV that the island has that we have to take turns watching our movies on.
The coconut VCR.
The coconut.
The coconut-based VCR.
We've all gone coconuts. We're just sitting there just watching a rock, laughing to myself.
You lay the VHS tape on the top and you just lose your shit because it's funny.
That's actually what all this is. It's actually us. We've gone insane and we've found things that are not these things, but our brain has made them into these things. So when you see me staring at the big stone, the flat stone, laughing hysterically to myself, I'm watching Hot Rod.
We can make literal stick figures and I can dance them in front of the rock for you.
Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh! I can see the montage with just the one stick person right now. Just and Tony's got a twig and he's got him dancing around the twig. He's running through the woods. He's running through the woods right now. It's a montage.
Angry dance fighting in the woods is what Hot Rod was doing in the movie to let off some steam. But if you love to laugh and you like Andy Samberg, if you haven't seen Hot Rod, I don't know. Actually, if you want to press pause on the podcast, go to the closest rock and sit there and watch Hot Rod until you laugh yourself to death on the island. Please do it. It's just such a different brand of humor than I think I've ever gotten from another movie. Even his other ones that he's been a part of, like Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Yeah, Pop Star. Yeah.
That one's really funny too, but it's still completely different from the style that Hot Rod is done in.
And plus, Will Arnett in that movie, he's
not even there much.
No, he's just
but
there.
When he is there,
it's prolific.
Yeah. So the movie is insanely quotable. There's so many strange freaking moments in it. But
babe, wait, babe, no, wait.
If you've ever heard somebody say cool beans a whole bunch of times in a row in really strange cadences and volumes, that's from the movie Hot Rod.
The downhill racing soapbox derby scene.
Yes. Oh, gee.
Yeah.
The way it opens up with him flying downhill and smashing into an RV.
Yeah.
You please watch this movie. Please. This week at some point, watch Hot Rod. I don't even know where it's streaming. Go buy it. I don't care. But this is the movie I would have to take with me. It was between a whole bunch of different ones, but this is the only comedy that I just had to have with me.
I didn't have my wife make me a list, but I did require some help when it came to movies to watch because there are so many that are rewatchable for me, and I narrowed it down to a few. My two that I had was The Loser, which was Space Jam. And I was using it for the same purpose that I would be using this movie as well. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou?
Solid.
Interesting choice.
Oh,
yeah.
Brother, Where Art Thou? That would absolutely. I mean, you've got the story of the Odyssey broke down into rural South setting.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a great soundtrack to go along with it. I mean,
great.
God, Ralph Stanley's voice is going to be able to be on that island in our fake little rock TV that we're watching. I'm just sitting there mumbling to myself, "Whoa, death, whoa, death," and I'm just shaking back and rocking back and forth. Won't you spare me over to another year? But I love Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I just feel like that having that movie to kind of remind me of the circumstances that people get into, maybe there is hope for them getting out. I mean, they went through everything. Hell, Pete even got turned into a toad.
We thought you was a toad. You will see wonderful thing. We'll see a cow on the roof of a cotton house.
Another really quotable movie. Just like Hot Rod.
Such a good choice.
So good.
Thank you for the privacy, boys. Even though we had a mighty big lunch, I was still feeling quite peckish. And thank you for the hiatus in conversation for gestation. Most people tend to try them both at the same time, and I consider that to be both crude and vulgar.
That's a long quote that you can do. Well, that is how your brain works.
You know it.
It was a good one. That's under the radar for me. Well, good choice.
I2 or I3, whichever order you decide to pick
I as
me
well
in,
also too?
I as well also too, therefore, have chosen a comedy movie.
Okay.
And it's one that I loved to watch growing up, even though I didn't understand a lot of what was happening in it as a child. It's Pauly Shore's Son-in-Law.
What?
That is prime Weasel era Pauly Shore.
What? See, I grew up with Biodome.
Biodome was also solid. I almost went with that one, but I like Son-in-Law more.
We didn't have a lot of movies, but Biodome was one of them, and that was all the Pauly Shore I ever needed in my life.
I could only imagine.
Come on, man. In the Army now, there was so many good ones in the Weasel era.
I could only imagine what you're staring at the rock, watching the Pauly Shore would be like, and what voices would be coming out of your mouth while you're watching it.
Jeez. I don't even remember.
Go munching on some grindage, buddy.
What was it? What was the name of this one again?
Son-in-Law.
Son-in-Law. What is that about?
Okay.
I don't even...
Girl from South Dakota or North Dakota, one of the Dakotas.
Sure.
Really conservative, kind of well-to-do farm family. Doesn't get out, goes to college in California. And meets Pauly Shore. He lives across the hall. He's the resident advisor in the dorm. And Thanksgiving rolls around. She goes back home for Thanksgiving. Pauly Shore's character, Crawl, was going to be there by himself. And she's like, he's my friend. I'm going to take him home with me so he don't have to spend the holiday by himself. And then just some chaos ensues. Her back home boyfriend he proposes marriage, and she's kind of like, I'm not ready to settle down. I'm just now branching out. Because when she's in California, she starts doing things she's never done. She cuts her hair, dyes her hair, gets a tattoo, all these not just super conservative things.
Yeah.
And so she doesn't want to settle down with that. And so she kind of freaks out, stomps on Crawl's foot, and he jumps up and he's like, oh, well, I already asked her to marry me. So they have to do this whole pretending to be engaged.
That trope.
For the week that she's home.
Yep. I know that trope.
And also, I'd like to correct myself. It wasn't crude and vulgar the way that quote ended. It was crass. It was crass and vulgar.
I thought it was coarse.
It was crass and vulgar, and I'm gonna. I would.
You should be ashamed.
I would have beaten
yourself.
I would have beaten.
You're the only one that would have noticed.
No, I'm not.
He's not.
I'm telling you right now.
works.
If Jessica listens to this podcast and she hears that I have misquoted something, she's going to text me with an angry emoji, and I'm going to have to deal with that.
Then text her back like a extended finger emoji. You can pick the finger. I don't care. It can be pointer, index, middle, ring, pinky, whatever.
A giant thumbs up and then a donut picture.
If she feels in the force that you have misquoted something, she'll even watch something she's never watched before, just so she can, text you and be like, "You idiot."
She probably just called your wife right now to say your husband said something stupid.
She felt a disturbance in the force, so she had before she even heard the episode.
Oh man. Moving on from us. DT from Space Castle once again. Empire Strikes Back is the movie for him, and that is quintessential Star Wars.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to take every single Star Wars film, every Star Wars fan, and average out the one that everyone considers best, I think Empire Strikes Back would probably be it, right? Or Return of the Jedi. Or is Empire Strikes Back the big one?
Man,
Yeah.
That's everybody's favorite?
Empire's the big one. And
Okay.
also, if you've got DT rocking back and forth and he has a deep butthole itch, he scratches it and sniffs it and he said, I thought it smelled bad on the outside.
That's from being inside of a tauntaun? Is that what those are called? Tauntauns?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't understand the butthole itch part.
Well, because he sniffs it.
Why is he sniffing it?
I'm very confused.
Because he's
now.
a crazy person watching a rock for a television. Why would he not?
I forgot about us doing that.
Why
I'm
would he-
already part of the island now. Like, it's just reality for me.
what's weird about scratching your butt and sniffing your finger?
I was like, what did
I mean,
DT do
we're
to
all
you?
dudes, you know?
Why didn't you taste it? You're
Dude.
waste. If you don't
No.
taste it, you gotta
Too
waste it.
far.
No.
Too far.
DT, good choice for Empire Strikes
Yeah.
Back. I would sit there with The Rock with you and watch this.
Dwayne?
No, he's not allowed on the island anymore.
He would ruin our island.
We're done with him.
He's awesome.
finished.
We vote Dwayne off the island.
He tapped out.
Look, he could not sit still long enough for us to act out these movies in front of him.
No, he could not. So I choose the literal rock wall.
Yeah.
Otto, not
Bitch.
my phone's not my phone's Ollie, but Otto, Kato. Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
That's a good one.
That is interesting. And that is actually originally a manga
yes,
or a comic book.
I think it was a light novel.
Was it?
Yeah, a light novel.
Because I know there's a comic book about it or manga. I can't remember what if it was manga or
I have
comic.
no
But
idea.
I don't know enough about the manga, but I know for a fact that I'll take you for a ride on my garbage truck. I'll take you to the dump.
such good songs in that whole movie. But the way it's shot too. Have you ever seen it, Tiny? Scott
No.
Pilgrim? Oh man, it's one of those very different movies because it's almost like a mixture of like comic book moments and like pow word things coming up and scene the way scenes are shot changes like sporadically and I don't know. It's weird,
Ain't
but
it
it's
like-
really good.
Ain't it like more of like a comedy, but it's akin to Kick Ass? Or am I thinking of something else?
The violence in it is kind of that level to where it's not super serious. Like
It's cartoony.
It's very cartoony violence in a live action movie, but I mean, it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's a love story and
I've only heard good
adventure
things
and
about
everything.
it.
So yeah, it is good. I think some that originally loved the movie or the comic or whatever, there's a lot of inconsistencies with the movie they don't care for. But I've only seen the movie, and that's all I know, and I know that I like it. So it's one of those if you've never seen it and you like music in your movies, I don't know if I consider it a musical, but it's got a lot of good music in it. I would totally give that a shot because it's a great movie. Fresh Snoop, Batman Returns. It's also his favorite Christmas movie at the same time.
I can get down on some Batman Returns.
It's the most nostalgic Batman for me.
That's
I believe.
that's the best Keaton Batman.
Yes.
Go ahead and do the quote that you always do when this movie comes up.
What is the quote that you always do
Austin.
when this movie comes up?
I need a cool glass of ice water.
There we
Thank
go.
you.
Now it's out of the way.
Thank you, Danny DeVito. Wonderful.
Trollfoot.
He is also 4.5 bananas in height.
Yes, he is. Batman Returns is one of the best Batman movies. You can't argue that fact. I think that is fact. I don't know if that's opinion. So I think John was spot on with that one. For Carly, weirdly enough, also picked a Christmas movie, which I mean, Batman Returns. That is arguably a Christmas movie, but I think we can all agree that if Die Hard is a Christmas movie, Batman Returns is a Christmas movie.
I didn't know there was a question to either one of those being Christmas
Okay,
movies.
excellent.
I mean,
Excellent.
Bruce Willis says that Die Hard's not a Christmas movie.
Well, Bruce Willis also has dementia now, so that's why he said that.
That's true. That is
you
why
can't
he
take
said
that
that.
into account.
Carly picked How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version. And that makes me happy because of how much I love Jim Carrey and how that movie is my favorite Christmas movie as well. Besides the claymation Rudolph movie, like the old one that they would just play on repeat on Christmas. Have you ever seen the old claymation
Yeah.
cards? Okay, the way you're looking at me
Yeah,
was like you
I
haven't seen
was
it.
just intently listening.
Oh, okay, good.
And also thinking of my own favorite Christmas movie.
But Jim Carrey, the way he portrays the Grinch it can't be matched. I don't think. I don't think they'll ever do another live action Grinch because
they shouldn't.
No.
That one was perfect.
no, it needs to be set in stone. Well, it's funny, set in stone. That's what we're watching these on, but it's
kind of like a rock.
Yeah, kind of. It is
Chevy.
the best version of the Grinch I think that you could possibly get. The newest animated one, Illumination, maybe did that one. You didn't like it? I liked it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good. It wasn't as good as Jim Carrey's version, obviously, but
No, you can't.
it was good.
You can't reboot a reboot and it not be as good as the reboot you rebooted.
Rebooted the reboot.
That wasn't as good as the reboot you previously rebooted.
Carry the one.
and then add 2. Okay. Yeah. You're right. You're right. We
Gotcha.
just had to work it out in our heads.
Yep.
But an excellent choice on that one. Album. This is one to where we were talking about it last week of what kind of categories we were going to have for this. I told Marcus album was going to be one of them. He was just like, no, I can't pick one. It's impossible to pick one.
I think that's why he didn't show up
I think
today.
so too. He was so adamant on the fact that he wasn't going to do that. He's like, no, I'm just not going to be there. I picked Daft Punk's Random Access Memories. I don't know how to explain it other than it makes me feel good listening to that album. And it had been a long time between albums for Daft Punk. May they rest in peace, their career, not them as people, but they're no longer together anymore. But Daft Punk just had their 10th anniversary release of this album, and it's on Spotify with some like extra little bonus content stuff that I've been listening to this week. And it just rekindled that fire in me, which is very useful when stuck on an island. So if you like Daft Punk or electronic music at all, please give Random Access Memories a listen, because from beginning to end, it's my favorite album, I think, from beginning to end, save a couple competitors. But this has always been the one that I said I would take on an island with me ever since it came out.
Mine is Dusk and Summer by Dashboard Confessional.
A throwback to high school.
It provides me with every mood that I require. I can have sad, I can have nostalgic, I can have happy, I can have excited. It's all within that album, and I can find a song to kind of fit whatever mood that I'm in.
Could be the soundtrack to your day on the island.
Yeah, soundtrack to my day on the island, and Dusk and Summer could be the actual song that I'm laying with my feet on the beach as it's just sloshing on my feet and I'm laying there slowly starving to death while I'm singing, she smiles in a big way, the way a girl like that smiles. I miss my wife.
Yeah, you got your toes in the water, ass in the sand.
Oh, Zach Brown Band.
Oh, I thought that was the same people.
Oh, is that when you're...
No, not a worry in the world, a cold beer in my head, but it's a rock today.
I think
I thought that was the same band.
Just a rock today.
I think everything's going to become Jimmy Buffett in her head, though.
Oh, my
Eventually.
God.
Eventually, all things will become
I could
Jimmy
just imagine.
Buffett.
She smiled in a big way, the way a girl like that smiles. Come on, you know it, Miami.
This is Austin going nuts on top of a rock face. Just
When the world was hers and you held her eyes.
then I flash you my bare chest.
In my,
And then Tiny's literally got severed parrot heads that he's bringing around with us. He's like, I found the parrot heads.
I feel like at this point in this adventure, I would just be Pooh Bear and all the time.
Oh,
Be so out of it. I just walk around Pooh
he's
Bear.
so tan from the bottom half.
Somebody would pull up, they're like, wow, he's wearing some really dark colored pants. Oh,
Wait a minute.
those aren't pants.
What would you pick? Album? Did you come up with an album? Because I know you mentioned you wanted to pick songs, but that would be cheating.
I know. So I settled on 2. I know we can. Hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying. I know I can only choose one.
Okay.
But I have to ask a question to know which one to choose.
Okay.
That's why there's 2.
Yeah.
Do soundtracks count as albums?
Yes.
Yes.
If it can be on vinyl, then it can be
Okay.
yours.
That was all I had to know.
Yeah.
Because my first pick was going to be Clutch's The Elephant Riders, because it's just a really cool album. There's cool songs. Some of them are kind of stories.
Not familiar.
It's like stoner metal. It's cool.
Okay.
But that's not what I'm taking.
Okay.
Because that would have been if soundtracks didn't count.
Yeah.
Since we're including soundtracks, Phantom of the Opera.
Oh,
that one's
every
for you,
word to
Austin.
that one's in my brain.
Same.
Yeah.
Jeez,
And,
oh Pete.
You know, it's beautifully written music.
Mm-hmm.
It just it's not too heavy. It's not sad. Even the sad songs, they have the really upbeat power songs too. It's a great album.
And
altogether.
Gerard Butler did a great job. I think as a guy who's not a singer, I think
he really did.
I think he did a great job, like giving that gritty, darker tone to the way the Phantom sounds. Because you listen to the original stuff with Michael Crawford from the original Phantom of the Opera, like on Broadway, and his stuff is like, "You will curse the day you did not do."
Yeah, it's
and then,
almost like Shakespearean. Or
yeah,
some shit.
and then you get Gerard Butler says, "You will curse the day you did not do." I'm like, I feel that.
Yeah.
A little more rock.
I feel that.
Like it's like the sound enters your ear hole and goes down and tickles your bee hole. That's how
you know
the
it's good.
music penetrates
Sing
you.
for
Yeah.
me, my angel of music.
Exactly.
I just imagine you becoming the Phantom of the Island.
Yeah.
The Phantom of the Pooh Bear.
Be like, does he have to always be pantsless, or like he's crazy now?
He had to
okay?
make his mask out of something.
He keeps trying to make it talk, and that just weirds me out. And not in the traditional way. He flaps the two parts different.
It's like a cootie catcher from middle school. We're trying to decide our fate. Oh, no. Which one you got? Here, pick a color. Yellow. Y-E. L.
The Phantom of the Opera is here.
Oh, I'm injured. I've got tears.
Oh, no.
I'm injured.
Oh, we got to move on, or I'll never go back to watching my rock. I'll just watch Tiny and his Pooh Bear opera phantom butthole.
I was talking about my genitals.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Either one works.
I'm hurt.
I'm shaking.
I'm hurt.
I'm shaking.
DT, save me from this pain. Elephant by the White Stripes is DT's choice. And the White Stripes, I believe, Jack White in general is a very acquired taste, I would say. Wouldn't you say? Would you say that?
Yeah, I'd like for him and Jack Black to team up on an album just called Gray.
Yeah, that'd be so good.
Jack White and Jack Black on an album called Gray.
We know Jack Black would be down.
They'd be like the Jedi and the Sith working together on a mission.
Yeah.
Because
Love it.
Jack White is an excellent improv guitarist. Like, as far as anything I've ever heard him doing on on any of his live videos and stuff that I watch, like, he's a very good improv guitarist, and he does different sounds that aren't quite in like a key or a structure, but he's good. He's innovative. And then Jack Black, of course, is Jack Black, so he can do that exact same thing with just his voice, because he gets into, like, I don't know what to sing with. Now hit it, Jack.
And then I'll love it every second of it. He's the only scat I like. Wait, hold on. Yeah, that still counts. That still counts.
Yeah,
definitely. Yes,
scat's
it's doo-doo.
It's doo-doo,
baby. And it is. Jack Black is the only scat that I'm into. Doo-doo, doo, boo, boo, doo. Yeah, Seven Nation Army by the White Stripes is the first song anyone learns on bass, I think, ever.
They have to.
Dum, 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 dum.
Are you saying that I did something wrong?
What did you learn?
Because I learned to play bass, and that wasn't it.
No?
He wanted to learn Schism by Tool. That's all
actually,
it was.
the first
that one's
song that
another
I
one,
learned
too.
to play was Louie Louie.
Maybe that was one of the first. Okay, I will change. That is probably the first song anyone ever learns from lessons. Did you take bass lessons to learn?
No, I taught
It was just
myself.
you? Because I think that's what my bass teacher also taught me first. Was Louie Louie.
Yeah, when you're
but-
first learning structuring of power chords on guitar too, Louie Louie's an excellent one to be able to flow from power
Really?
chord to power chord. Yep, it's just a single box. Goes your A, your D, and then your E, and then back to your D, and then your A.
Well, I had like 5 minutes worth of lesson.
Yeah.
I went, that's a cool thing. And they're like, yeah, that's a bass. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he goes, do you know how to play? I said, no. He goes, here. And he goes, this is G, and shows me how to find notes on a neck. That's all I was ever taught.
And you just kind of went from there.
Yeah. He kind of went, here's how you can play Louie Louie. So you have the thing. You know, it's like, da, 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 da.
All that
Then you had to turn down offers from famous bands daily.
I know, just daily.
Yeah.
because you already
On
had
the
too many.
rig.
You already had too many offers from those gangs for your bow staff skills.
Oh, that was you.
I'm just glad we landed you instead of them.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. Seven Nation Army was the first song that I taught myself. I will say that because I did learn like Louie Louie and a couple other, basic starter songs. And then, the White Stripes, I grew up with them, but I didn't listen to a whole lot of their music, just pretty much Seven Nation Army, and that was pretty much it. But
you forget.
I would appreciate it more now,
You
maybe.
also liked to fell in love with a girl. Fell in love with a girl, and the bears repeating now.
Yep. So, K-Dell says, Let's Rock by the Black Keys. He also gave another option, but I'm not doing that, KL, because that's like, that's
can't do that.
cheating. And I'm just going to go with the first one you mentioned because I'm going to guess that's the first one that came to mind. Which is funny they mentioned the Black Keys because the Black Keys, the guitarist for them, don't remember their name, and Jack White have some beef because Jack White feels that he like kind of stole his style because Jack White's style is very unique. But the Black Keys, lead guitarist, kind of does that kind of thing. This is just what I've read from a couple different sources, so I don't know exactly how true this is. But I also saw that I think Jack White even pulled his daughter out of the school that the guitarist for the Black Keys kid was in because he did not want them going to school with their child because that's how much he hates this person. And I think it's all over music. Have you heard any of this before?
Well,
Am I making it all up?
You're probably not making it up because musicians are petty. Hell, Steve Perry from Journey sues the members of his band that he's no longer in pretty much on a daily basis. So.
What?
Oh, dude, I'll get into this conversation at one point.
Yeah, that's an after show conversation.
Yeah, but for musicians to have an ego and to have a thing about what they do and not wanting people to copy it, yeah, I get that. But at the same time, copying is the most sincerest form of flattering. And if you've inspired somebody with your sound, they're going to use it. That's how it works. How did you get inspired to play guitar, Jack?
Yeah, by others. It's art, man. Like you take from those that have made before you and make something out of it yourself.
You're not Icelandic pop star. What's her face? I
Fuckhead.
like to throw nickels into the oven. It makes music.
What?
Bjork.
Oh, Bjork. Thanks.
I don't
It was a Saturday Night Live
good.
Saturday Night Live skit where she was on there.
I know I've listened to Let's Rock, but the main Black Keys album for me is Thick Freakness, which I think is their first studio album, if I'm not correct on that. But Thick Freakness is one of the first vinyl records that I bought, and it's so good. They just have this like just dirty sound to them. Like the music itself sounds like there's dirt on it. If that makes any sense at all, what would that be called? If it's got crunchy.
Well, they're just
crunch. It's like crunchy.
It's fuzzy.
It's
fuzzy.
They do.
It's better than fuzzy though.
Well,
It's crunchy.
they do multi-layer fuzz,
Yeah.
so it makes the way that the signals coming through actually sound like it's having that more of a
Okay.
having that effect on it
Yeah.
to where it adds that nasty.
Also, rip headphone users.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Sorry,
And me later when I edit this, and I'll turn it down a little bit, but I'll get to suffer.
I think it was more of a buzzy of my mouth as opposed to like a distortion.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, they're I like their earlier sound as opposed to what they kind of made more recently. There was some blue album with some pink circles on the front of it. Can't remember the name of it, but it was a lot cleaner sounding. Like it sounded very studio, very clean. Still fine, still good. But I needed that crunch. I needed that fuzz of their earlier sound. So I always go back to Thick Freakness. But I need to listen to Let's Rock some more. Fresh Snoop. The Battle at Garden's Gate by Greta Van Fleet.
I've heard.
Are you familiar?
I'm not familiar with that album specifically. I've just recently started listening to Greta Van Fleet, just because I don't know. I've just passed over it for forever. For some reason in my head, I thought it was like a Florence and the Machine style band. But then
the Machine's great.
I know, but I've already listened to Florence and the Machine.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So I was like, I don't want to listen to a try hard.
Yeah.
But then I listened to Greta Van Fleet, and I'm like, that's nothing like what I thought in my head canon. It's like Led Zeppelin but modern.
That's who you walked into the house the other day and said you can't. Is that who you said you
Yeah.
can't believe you just now started listening to this?
Yeah. Yes.
That's that band.
Yeah, that's that band.
Funny. That's really funny.
So good album. I don't know anything about it, but I like the band. So
But you
good
like
choice.
the band now, yeah. Are you familiar, Tony, with
No,
Greta Van Fleet?
I didn't know it was a band.
No.
Never heard of them.
Basically,
No?
And
basically,
then when I read that, I was like, "Oh, it's just some person." My first thought was Greta Thunberg.
Right.
And
That's
I was
different
like,
human.
She does music. Then I'm like, no, that's a different last name. I don't know. That's where I'm at.
So basically,
I want tacos.
basically you take the sound of what like Led Zeppelin used to accomplish and how big their sound was and how piercing Robert Plant's voice was, and you take that same stuff but you put it with modern tech and modern production quality, and you get Greta Van Fleet. So
Whoa.
yeah, listen to that.
Yeah, that makes me want to listen to it even more now. Carly picked Rainbow Kitten Surprise, their album 7 Plus Mary. I believe that was their first studio album. Rainbow Kitten Surprise, you hear the name and you go, your brain automatically makes some sound that you think that they would make. It's not that sound at all. It's much different. And she introduced me to RKS, and they are phenomenal. And their shows are incredible. Their music is, again, it's almost like an acquired taste, because the lead singer, their voice, a lot of times you don't really understand what they're saying, but if you listen to them enough, you kind of start to understand what their deal is and the way they sing and the way they enunciate things. So you really start to get it, and it's really, really, really good music. So I definitely suggest RKS. You've listened to them since she introduced us to them.
I have listened to RKS. I also have an idea of what RKS can sound like to people. Light blue button.
This one? That's white. That's just white.
Okay, white, and then wait. I'm gonna after you make that, I'm gonna make a sound. Then you press the purple right on top of it.
This
Okay,
one-
yeah. After that,
one's
okay.
pink.
Okay, I can't see colors.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's kind of what my head would think that they do. But no, much different than that. It's really good. I would definitely listen to them if you like good music. Do that. Tiny? Oh, again, another one you've never heard of before?
I just thought of pink bubblegum and rainbows when I heard the name.
It's like if
Like
that...
I saw like Hello Kitty, like Japanese-ish pinkness.
It's
No,
like
that-
if that
when I
could
heard the name.
jump around and have a good time with good music, then yeah.
No, that
Just say you couldn't have a good time
if
like that.
If you're thinking
can.
if you're thinking Hello Kitty rock band, you're actually thinking of a band called P-Lander Z. But we can talk about that later.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
You will
I don't
be.
know.
We gotta, man. We've ended up talking about these things a lot longer than I thought we would. We'll kind of move through the other ones a little bit quicker, because I mean, how much can you say about snacks?
Nothing. I just like the snack that I picked. That's
But I'm
why I
gonna,
picked it.
I'm gonna tell you my snack, because you gotta have a snack with you're on a freaking island, man. You
Right.
can only eat tree bark and coconuts for so long. Beef jerky. Beef jerky. It's the snack. It's expensive, so it's kind of like a treat whenever I have it. But I love beef jerky so much, and it's almost impossible not to eat the entire bag whenever I open the bag, because most bags have about maybe 3 or 4 servings in it. No, that's one serving. And Buc-ee's, the gas station that all of a sudden
Nuts.
society is just craving lately, and I've been there and I get it. I understand why everybody likes it a lot. It's a crazy other world when it comes to being a gas station, because it's not all it
It's
is
like
at
a
all.
Walmart.
It's like it's a
is.
gas station that combines every mall kiosk into a store.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
But their self-branding is everywhere because they're so different from every other gas station. Like, they pay their employees insanely well. They even have a list as you're walking out of the building, like what their pay rates are for people that are interested in working there. And the bathrooms are the best bathrooms in any gas station ever of all time.
They would never hire 2 of us.
No, just one.
Yeah, you can't have visible tattoos.
Oh, no?
Nope.
I didn't know that.
Yep, that is one of their requirements.
I didn't know
Which
that.
is really dumb, 'cause they
That
pay
is
so
strange.
good.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
They'd
Just throwing it
never.
out there.
Yeah. But that's something I learned. I
Yeah.
didn't know. But yeah, beef jerky for me. That one's mine. Or deer jerky. Jerky.
Just jerky.
Jerky.
Jerked meat.
I'm sorry?
That's-
I will not.
No, that's what it's referred to
Oh,
as
okay.
jerked meat.
Yeah, yeah.
Just any
Gotcha.
chicken, beef, turkey,
Into it.
cock. So you
What?
got my snack was a king-sized Snickers ice cream bar.
It's going to melt.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
what-
you're right. It doesn't
I mean,
matter.
I mean, if it melts onto the island, then it can be a different kind of deserted island.
That's a really, really funny joke.
Yeah,
I actually enjoyed it a lot, and I'm going to hope I press the right button. That'll do. It's not the laugh, but it is good. Sorry, I knocked over your ocarina.
That's okay.
It didn't break.
No, it's good.
Tiny, what's your snack?
Well, my first thought was, and then I went, I can't do that. So Cajun Trail Mix from Walmart. I mean, great. The Walmart brand Cajun Trail Mix.
I was thinking about the Walmart
yeah.
brand. He got. Oh,
boy.
oh, honey,
The glasses are coming off.
honey, you might need to take a shower. You got to live with that great value.
I mean, somebody had to say it. Why not me?
Oh, man.
Okay, get back to
Great Valley Trail Mix. Very good for your island hike adventure.
Yeah, it's a lot of bang for the buck.
It sure is. Oh, how many
it's
legs does
salty,
it take to
it's
get to the
sweet.
center of the bag of that mix?
It's a little Cajun-y.
Ooh. DT, save us. Peanut butter M&Ms.
Solid choice.
Definitely. Probably one of the best.
That's the Cadillac of M&Ms.
They'll melt in your mouth, not in
It
your
is.
hand.
I like the pretzel ones a lot.
Pretzel
I like
ones are
it,
a
yeah.
good number 2.
Yeah. So, yeah, delicious. Excellent choice, DT. K-Del, Cosmic Brownie. He had a combo. So when he thought snack, this is fair because I didn't say it was one item.
Yeah,
he was
I mean,
thinking if I'm sitting down for a
I picked
snack.
trail mix,
Right.
so.
See, if it got to be 2 things, mine would be salt and vinegar chips and milk. Enjoy that for a second.
Oh.
That's not a joke. Ask Austin. That's like, it's the move.
Carly
I love it.
has come to accept that as his snack. It took her a minute to accept it, but
Listen, it's not a good personality trait, Tony. It's not a good thing about me.
How did I not know this? First of all,
yeah, you never knew we were on a podcast with a sociopath.
Yeah.
have you killed people?
I'm not. Maybe I probably go into some kind of blind rage whenever I consume it. I don't know. It's not
Clearly.
scientifically made to go together for a human to
Do
consume.
you like dip the chips in it?
No, I do. But sometimes I'll let the milk sit a little in my mouth with one of the chips while I'm chewing on it. Though I'm a nasty boy, Tiny.
I feel like it would
I'm
curdle.
a nasty little milk boy, and I love salt and vinegar chips
I'm
with it.
trying real hard not to be judgmental.
I know. I'm sorry.
Because in 2023, you can eat whatever you want.
Right.
You can.
You listen, I'm all about not yucking any yums. You guys can yuck this yum. I do not mind. I understand the horror
see
of
my
it.
face?
Yes.
I know exactly what's happened, and it's hi waiter, I need a little bit of extra ketchup. My steak's kind of dry. I wanted it well done, but you guys turned it into jerky. I need a little extra ketchup for it tonight on the first 48.
Now, I have a question. 'Cause
I have an
I know
answer.
sometimes I want my food to hurt me.
Right.
Which is why I like spicy things.
Right.
And like really sour things.
Yes.
Is it one of those like you want that to hurt you? Or is it because you don't feel you're good enough to eat good things?
I don't know. It is probably some kind of like, what is it called? Flatulation.
Self-flagellation?
Flagellation.
Flag.
Flatulation. That's farting.
Yeah.
Flagellation is harming yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's something to do with that. Maybe I love
does
the
your
taste
mom
of
know?
it, but no, absolutely not. She doesn't listen to the show, so she will never find out. And yeah, it's something about me that I will admit to anyone who asks, but I also understand that I am a crazy person for enjoying it. Sorry, K-Del, Cosmic Brownies and Arizona Arnold Palmer tea.
Okay.
That's a strange combo to me, tea
Yeah.
and brownie? Not as strange as milk and
And honestly, for me, the Arnold Palmer tea is like the most inferior of the Arizona tea beverages.
the green tea, baby.
The green tea is
diet-
my favorite.
diet
I
green
love the
tea.
diet green tea.
I like the Arnold Light.
And then,
so,
then you've got the Cosmic Brownie. And I'm sorry, Kay. I'm sorry, Mr. Otto, but Cosmic Brownies are hot, stinking fecal garbage.
hey, he's our listener. He'll never listen to us again.
Tonight on Hot Takes with Austin Shazam Pfeiffer talking hot steak and fecal garbage with the brownies.
Cosmic Brownies are cosmic garbage in your mouth. I mean, honestly, as a child, they've got that distinct taste of, hey, this is chocolate, this is fudgy. Okay, cool. But as an adult, when you have the ability to have your own brownies made at any point you want to make brownies, and you eat this cosmic brownie that tastes like the imitation brownie pieces you get at the ice cream shop, It hurts.
Well, maybe it's a nostalgia thing.
It could be.
Look,
Maybe
you're losing us a subscriber.
Yeah, you don't eat cosmic brownies because you want a good brownie.
I
you
like
eat cosmic
cosmic
Right,
brownies.
I do too. But not because I want a brownie,
Right.
because I want a cosmic brownie.
I want a chocolate product.
Exactly. That's what a cosmic brownie is. It's not a brownie.
The thing that ruins it is the candy pieces on top, though. The candy pieces on
That's
top.
just texture, baby.
No, if
I
you want
prefer the ones with the nuts.
the nuts, that's
but
what I
will
like.
eat the
Oh
cosmic
wait,
ones too.
that sounded bad. I like.
We like nuts in our mouths.
Yeah, we do.
Okay?
I
No,
like the
no
cons-
need to be ashamed. We're just gonna admit it.
I like the consistency.
Austin boys, the Thunder Brothers. We like nuts in our mouths
Yeah, and especially
and on
when-
our brownies.
Yeah, and that's the only way that it's got to go when it comes to the cosmic brownie idea, because they're called something else whenever they're not candy covered with rainbow candies, but it's the nut covered brownies. I like those better.
I get it. I understand. I just need everyone to know, and all the listeners out there, cosmic brownie, we know it's not a brownie.
Yeah.
No one's saying it is.
It's a chocolate
They're
brownie
saying it is.
byproduct.
Little Debbie's saying,
Yeah.
it is, but we're saying, no, you can't fool us.
We can't say Little Debbie because trademark. Small
Oh,
Deborah.
that's right, Small Deborah.
Yeah,
You
we
are
don't want to get
correct.
sued.
Yeah. Carly, with the classic Lays. The classic Lays. If you're going to have one chip forever, I don't think I'm going to get tired of a classic Lay chip. I think of a ranch, a Cool Ranch. All chips eventually become classic flavored once the seasoning's gone. Right. Once the flavoring's out of there. So I think sticking with the classic of the classic Lays.
And it can be a component for other things like
Yes.
peanut butter sandwich, boom, classic Lays.
Yep.
Onion dip, boom, classic
Classic
Lays.
Lays. Yeah.
Boom, classic Lays. It just goes with everything. I just wanted to see if I could get it again.
So you did. Nailed it. Oh, jeez. Solid choice, Carly. With that, she's not going to have milk with those Lays because I'm drinking it all with my Nasty Boy combo.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, video game. We'll run through these, and then we'll be done until we get to pick our vegetable. Or, you said vegetable, or what was the other
condiment.
one? Or condiment. We do get to that. I like condiment. Condiment's good.
We can go with condiment.
We'll go condiment.
Condiment's
See,
better
I knew we'd
choice.
figure it out.
Yeah.
So at the end, we'll do condiment, but for right now, video game. And I struggled with this one, and I have a recency bias. So I think, ooh, man, it's still right at the end. I think I'm going to switch it up from what I have written down because very recently I rediscovered my love of Breath of the Wild, Zelda. And that one, it's between that and Rocket League. And I don't know, you were able to ask a question and figure out yours between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have internet access on the
No,
island?
because
we
we're
don't,
stranded.
We don't have internet access on the island.
Yeah, we're stranded.
Got it. Breath of the Wild is my favorite because in that game, I have played it for hours upon hours. I have not completed any main story missions at all. I've just been seeing how far I can walk and how many mountains I can climb and how many little towers I can climb to open up the areas of the map. I'm doing it in a way that they didn't say I couldn't. They promote the excursion, but I have no idea where the story's headed because I have not played any of the story. But that means that the whole time I'm on the island, I can be exploring in Breath of the Wild and never actually end up beating the game. So it's just kind of infinite for me. And there's always a blood moon that happens and it resets a bunch of the enemies in the game. So like, even whenever you kill things, you can go back to that place and take them down again. So it's like unlimited time to play. But that's my most recent love in gaming right now, and it's kind of taken over my brain.
Mine was simple.
What is yours?
Mega Man X.
Oh, that's torture.
Mega Man X. Honestly, I could probably replay that game at any point, and it's still going to be just as fun as whenever I played it as a kid. The soundtrack to it is so good, so it can double as another album for me, and it can just look up the Mega Man X soundtrack. It is the most 90s synth metal thing you'll ever hear.
I do need to listen to this. I love synth. That
just
is anything.
literally all just screeling metal guitars and synthesizers and techno drums.
Yeah.
And you're just going around just shooting different robots and collecting their power and trying to find your different sources of armor to get upgraded so you can become the fully upgraded Mega Man X from Dr. Light. It's a great video game.
I have it on my modded Game Boy Advance. I will play it.
You should. It's a great game.
I'll probably get angry at it.
Also, DT is a pretty big fan of that game as
Yeah.
far as I can remember.
Good.
I mean, you should probably just skip me because I don't care enough about a video game to take it with me to said island. I like playing them,
Yeah.
but I really don't have like this love of anyone in particular.
Right.
So I'll just take an extra pocket knife.
Okay. Well, that's your. You can make a video game
I can
on a
make something.
stone
I don't
tablet.
know.
No, if Tiny just sits around all day, just stabbing in between his fingers as fast as he can to get quicker. That's his video game.
Snake
I mean,
on a Motorola. Snake on a Motorola mobile phone.
The only way I play Snake is very different.
Very
than that.
different. Yeah. Well, you can play plenty of that on the island.
Exactly.
So Tiny is taking the Marcus Album approach, and no.
Yeah, pretty much. But for different reasons. Mine's more apathetic.
Right. So DT, actually, Breath of the Wild, same thing as me. He and I would be there watching one another, taking a rock in our hand and pretending like we're playing the game on the screen that is the rock face while everyone else isn't watching their movies. Actually, we can all watch our own things at the same time on that one, can't we?
Yeah, we can share screen time.
Use your imagination.
We just use coconut headphones so the audios don't cross over.
So finally, along this list, two people have agreed on one choice. And theirs might be a recency thing with the newest Zelda coming out, the Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild 2, basically. But I think he's spot on with Breath of the Wild. K-Del, Star Wars Battlefront on the PS2. Much different than the Battlefronts that have come out recently. And I remember playing it vaguely, but I don't remember playing it a whole bunch.
I never played it.
You never played Battlefront?
Never
Ever played
played it.
Battlefront, Tony?
Nope.
No?
Well, no, I think I played a little bit. Ain't that the one with Star Killer?
No, that is Force Unleashed.
Then no.
That is Force Unleashed, right? I believe that one's Star Killer.
Then I'm going to say
But-
no, I have not.
Well, I need to find an emulator for this because I don't think there's any other way to obtain it. That's something that sucks with video games is whenever they no longer make the game and they don't sell it on a digital platform, good luck.
Yep.
Because you're going to end up paying way too much money for somebody that's got a used, beat-up copy of it. Fresh Snoop, Uncharted. I believe they picked 3, Uncharted 3.
Yes.
Whenever
Yeah.
Tony said, can't do it, you cheater.
Yep.
They picked 3. And for those of you who don't know what Uncharted is, it's like if Tomb Raider were more modern, almost. Like a modern Tomb. Well, no, they make modern Tomb Raiders now. Tomb Raider with a boy is the main character.
That's what it
right?
is.
I mean, it's basically. But it's a really good action-adventure game with amazing voice acting. And it's a lot of fun. I played the first one and a little bit of the second one. And it's a lot of fun. You solve puzzles, and it's like a national treasure. Like you're hunting down different artifacts and stuff. And the main character is very likable. It's a lot of fun.
And don't watch the movie.
No, I didn't want to. I like Tom Holland and I like Uncharted, but just the meshing of those two together, it just didn't seem like a good idea.
Don't watch the movie.
Okay, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Lastly, Carly says another Zelda game, but not Breath of the Wild, Wind Waker.
I knew it.
You knew it?
I knew it.
You knew.
I knew she'd pick Wind Waker.
I love the art style of Wind Waker. It was the chibi art style, kind of the cartoonier style. So it's a lot different from any other ones that they made, but it worked so well. A lot of it looks like hand drawn almost, and it was just so pleasing to look at. And also a very funny game. Like a lot of the characters in it have a lot of personality and stuff too. So if you've only played Zelda games that are like top-down classic Game Boy style, or the newest ones, and want to play something a little different, Wind Waker is a good choice. And I think they actually remastered it not long ago. So there's a version of it that's even easier to play now as time has gone by. And that brings us to the bonus category that
Bonus
only
round.
the grapes get to answer.
Can you hit the
Yeah, I can. Here we go. Bonus round. You've acquired a bonus round. Condiment?
Yes.
Ooh. Do I got to be a nasty ranch boy?
Sure.
Because, I mean, it goes on all of it.
Yeah.
But then again, if I'm going to be trying to make my rocks and leaves taste better and
Yeah.
pine cones.
You also got to think about it. It's not been refrigerated, so it's going to be more raunch than ranch.
True. But then again.
But I mean, it's your choice.
Right. So is Austin's Snickers bar, though. It's
I
going
mean,
to be
that's
all,
true.
it's going to be
That's
all
true.
ranch instead of ranch. Ah, dang. I thought this was going to be easy when I say ranch. But then I'm like,
You chose ranch.
mayonnaise.
That's just as bad. You chose ranch.
Ranch is mayonnaise.
It has mayonnaise in it.
And egg.
Ranch is spicy
right?
mayonnaise.
Yeah, spicy mayonnaise.
Ranch.
Spicy
So-
water
You
mayonnaise.
choose ranch. There's nothing wrong with choosing
Yeah,
ranch.
I mean, ranch is good.
No, mayonnaise.
Now you go to hell.
Mayonnaise. I choose mayonnaise.
Have you ever dipped a chip in mayonnaise?
Have you ever dipped a pine cone or a
Yeah.
rock in it? Just think, if I have mayonnaise and I take some sand and some seawater and throw it in there, I've got ranch.
I mean, it would get it in you.
I've got ranch.
There would be a food loop.
So I can take mayo and make a bunch of things out of it. Going mayo.
You can make anything a salad.
My final decision. Anything becomes a
Okay,
salad.
I'm suddenly on board now.
Thank
I wasn't, but now I am.
Thank you.
I can see you going that way. I don't know. That's just fine. You chose that.
I chose.
Yeah, he can make a hot dog rock salad.
Yeah.
I will choose Melinda's Asian wing glaze.
Delicious.
I will put that on anything and it will taste delicious. So I will be able to nourish my body with sauce and leaves because I'll be eating my salad.
Honey mustard.
Honey mustard.
But
Good
it
call.
has to be more mustardy than honey-y. I want enough that it's sweet, but I also want it tangy.
Now, what
Not
about
that
what-
super sweet?
Yeah.
Can't really taste the mustard.
Not the
portion
O'Charlie
kind.
style.
Right.
Okay.
That was going to be my question. Like, because O'Charlie's has got that sweet style. So yours is a little bit more of like that cheddar style honey mustard to where
Yeah.
they've got that good Dijon.
Yeah,
It's
made
like
with
a
that-
horseradish,
yeah,
right? It's like a horseradish
exactly.
kind of taste
Yep,
to it.
That's it.
I used to be more on the sweet side, but the more refined my palate has become, I'm much more there with you.
I don't
I mean,
want
it goes on anything.
It really does.
I don't want to
Fried
hear
catfish,
a damn
anything.
thing.
Sure.
I don't want to
Why
hear a
not?
damn thing about your refined palate after milk and vinegar.
That's how it
chips.
became refined or demolished. Maybe demolished is what I meant to say. My demolished palate from
Maybe
that.
it's kind of like when you're Did you ever? Back when I was a Boy Scout,
Okay.
we did a fundraiser cleaning semi-trailers. Okay, you with me so far? We had to use an acid to get all the road crap off the side, so it'd be nice and pretty white.
Right.
Maybe that weird vinegar potato chip milk combo was the acid that chipped away the dirt off of your palate to make it better.
Maybe that's exactly what happened. Maybe there was a thin layer that was stopping me from tasting the true flavor of everything.
Yep.
So it was a semi trailer. So it was like a real trailer, but it was smaller.
No, it's full size. Dane's mouth is a semi-trailer. That's
Yeah,
really
my mouth
that's
is a
where we need to
semi-trailer.
be at right now.
And speaking of full-size semi-trailer, this has been a full-size episode. Thank you all for being stuck on this island with us and for laughing as Marcus fell to his death while he did jacks falling from the sky. But no, he didn't die. We said he landed on an eagle.
We landed on a bird.
And he flew
And
away.
the bird died.
And now oh no, then the bird died? Of natural causes. But
Yeah.
after it
Yeah, 'cause
taught
birds
him
only
and,
live a few
and-
years.
and it taught him everything it knew.
Right.
And now Marcus has become the head eagle of whatever mountain it is that he's ended up on.
Ew, could you imagine Marcus baby birding something?
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. Imagine if he was baby birding me milk and salt and vinegar chips.
Oh God, that just got worse.
It
but
did
wait,
get worse.
especially if he's Pooh Beared.
We gotta leave. We gotta leave now.
Yeah,
I'm
let's
getting
get out
I'm
of
gonna
here.
go take care of something.
I'm getting sick.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for getting stuck
can
on this
smell
island
it.
with us. If you don't mind, go wherever you're listening to us. If there's a rating system, click the 5 islands, all 5 islands. That way everybody is safe and secure until someone finds us. And then tell everyone why you love us, why you love getting stuck on the island with us, or why you hated being there and watching me eat milk and salt and vinegar chips. And also click the Redbubble link in the description of the episode. Go buy a t-shirt. You're going to need to Pooh Bear in something when you're there. So it might as well be a Nerd at the Grapevine t-shirt.
Yeah, and you might like Cosmic Brownies enough to have it to be this hot, stinking, fecal garbage shirt, you know?
Y'all are going to fight behind the dumpster of Hardee's if you keep this up.
I don't
Put
know.
some ranch on that,
I
boy.
don't know if it'll be that big of a beef. But if you do have a beef with what I'm saying about your Cosmic Brownies, you can talk to us about it on our social medias. Get on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter and look up Nerd Grapevine. And if you wanted to comment on there, talk to us about literally anything, I will respond. I will conversate. You know, we can get ideas to things we can talk about in the future on the episode revolving around what you've said. It's fun. I like to have conversations. That's what I do. That's how we communicate. And that's how we grow together as a family.
Patreon? Did you do that? Oh. I saw you thinking. Bless you.
I think
No,
he's
bless
looking at
you.
a spotter.
Bless you. Bless you. Bless you, Austin. Bless your sneeze. Bless you.
Okay. I hate it. Nothing is worse than that. Oh my gosh.
You are so welcome.
It flared up in my nostrils. Then it did. Okay, anyway. If you wanted to donate a little bit of the cause, go ahead and get on Patreon. You can donate a little bit of money. You can get a shiny holographic Nerd It Through the Grapevine sticker. Just look up Nerd Grapevine on Patreon. And, you can get that sticker. You can unlock future content. We might start running specials on there if we get a little bit of traction on Patreon. It'd be really cool for you to be able to get on there and join and maybe get a T-shirt for being in a certain bracket of patronage. You never know, but we got to have some traction on there to be able to do some more things with it. So get on there, donate some money, help us keep on going. And whatever you do not talk about how clabbered it tastes whenever you're getting baby Berted, the salt and vinegar chips mixed in with milk from Marcus's mouth, because that might cause your friends to have a little bit of...
I feel like I'm going to take to vomiting. But you can also find us on Discord. There's a link in the description. Get on there and talk to us just like in this episode. We might put something you said in here. It won't be weird stuff, maybe. But
it will.
I mean, look, it probably will. But at least if it's really, really weird, we'll keep it anonymous for you.
Yeah.
But get on there, chat with us. We're on there live, uncut, uncensored, and irrevocably circumcised. And I do have a great announcement for you people, you listeners, soon to be viewers. We are doing video. We're going to release that on our YouTube.
Yee.
It's going to be great. I know you've sat there and listened to us and went, I would like to hear that cut a little differently and maybe a little less edited, like some behind the scenes type things. That's what our YouTube will be, because Dane's not doing the editing for that. I am. So it's going to be something. I mean, it's probably going to be cockadoodie poo poo at first, but you know what? By God, it'll be there.
We'll grow together. We'll grow together.
We will.
You sounded like what's-her-face's character from Misery trying to describe something bad.
Yeah, she did say cockadoodie a lot.
It sounds like just a bunch of cockadoodie boo-boo.
Yeah, pretty much.
We've also got some great favorite...
Yeah, Daddy.
See, Poppy.
Grape Flavored Gaming on YouTube as well. It's where you can watch us play some games. I want to do more of that. I'm tired of watching other people make funny videos making video games. I want us to do more of it. So we're going to do more of it. And then that brings us to the question that has been gnawing at my mind ever since we landed on this island. Austin and Tiny, when life hands one grape to the two of you, on this island, you found the secret flower which grows the grape, because grapes grow on flowers. What do you do?
I smash Austin in the head with a rock and take the other grape.
Wait.
Because if he had a grape and I had a grape.
No, there was one.
Oh,
it was
one?
both of you staring down.
Oh, it's the same answer.
It's like a blooming little flower with a little grape on the inside of it.
It's the same answer. I smash him in the head with a rock and take it for myself and put it in my ass.
Do you did you react to anything of this?
Well, honestly, his story for the grape is much more destructive than mine.
Yeah, what were you going to do?
I was going to blow the grape up like a balloon and bounce around on it on the island and have just days and days of joyous fun until it finally popped just enough to where it let the air out of it, and I jumped one too many times on it and it flew into my ass.
Not anymore. Not anymore, you're not.
The trick was this was a play you were both putting on in front of the rock for all of us to watch.
Exactly.
So thank you for that entertainment.
And it's up to the viewers to decide the best.
Yeah.
Put it to the polls. You see a bright light, you hear Madonna, now I feel, I just got home, and I feel. And you're back to earth, just in excruciating pain.
Yeah.